and welcome to vlog number 85. I'm Joshua Kemble, and this is the vlog where I talk about Quarterly Stories, which is my graphic novel that I handwrite, hand letter, and hand ink, and then hand to you, hopefully someday in print. But until that day, it's available serialized online at quarterlystories.com. It's a very personal story to me about faith and mental illness, and this is the vlog where I document the process and the progress of creating that graphic novel on top of being a full-time art director, a full-time husband, and a full-time father. So I'm feeling pretty good. It's morning, I'm heading to work, and I feel pretty accomplished. I finished the triptych of paintings, of Haunted Mansion style paintings, which you can check out in vlog number 83 and 84, where I get into kind of the process a little bit of how I did them. And I actually enjoyed them a lot, so I'm thinking about possibly doing them as commissions, so let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But in the meantime, I also managed to take photo reference for page 49. And what's cool about that, I mean, a lot of you guys watching might be like, oh, you took photo reference, what's the big deal? What's cool about that is I had a day where I didn't actually work on art. And I just got home, I was so exhausted, I just ended up sleeping. And that was 2 days ago. And so the next day, anytime I kind of like don't stick to my art habit, I end up being kind of plagued by guilt the next day. And not like an unhealthy guilt, like a guilt like if you built up the habit of working out, you missed a day. That kind of guilt. So along with that though is within my personality, and I think a lot of us creative types, is the fact that like you miss a day and you suddenly get worried that you're just kind of gonna miss another day and that maybe it'll become a bad habit. And I've talked about that before, how I view art as almost like a war that you're conducting, where you have to just win ground, because if you lose any ground, then it's going to be taken by resistance. And it's all ideas I got from Stephen Pressfield's Art of War, but I've gotten into it much more thoroughly in past vlogs, so feel free to peruse my previous vlogs to kind of get into that more in depth. But the point being, I had lost some ground. Like I lost a day. I basically, like once again, I just kind of gave in to that voice that's like, you're tired, you should go to sleep, you shouldn't work on art. Whereas I could at least work on it for like 30 minutes. But instead I actually gave in and didn't. And what's interesting about yesterday is I decided I was going to just go more full force, work a little bit longer than I usually would to kind of make up for the day I missed. And that's something I've been trying to do. Like if I miss a day, it doesn't let me off the hook. If I miss a day, then I get to get 2 days worth of work done, in return to kind of compensate. And if I miss, say, 2 days, and then suddenly on the third day I'm going to have to get 2 days worth of work on top of my daily work done. And since I try to put in at least a half an hour of work, that usually equates to, well, okay, so if I missed a half hour, then the next day I have to put in an hour, and so on. So that seems to keep me on track, but it also, I don't want to rack up. It also makes me more incentivized to keep with my positive habit, because it's a lot easier to put in 30 minutes today than it will be to put in an hour tomorrow, or an hour and 30 minutes the next day. If I just hit that little target 30 minutes, I should be all right. Now, I do allow myself exceptions. Like, let's say my family were out on vacation or something like that, then a lot of the time, if I can't access the tools to make my art, then I'll allow myself that day off, and frankly, I don't vacation a lot, I don't take a lot of trips, so that's usually not much of an issue. But if my wife and I were to, say, go out of town or something, I'm not going to hold that as part of this. What I'm more talking about is just those days where you get home and really there is no reason that you shouldn't be getting art done. This camera keeps kind of slipping down. I need to get a new mount for my camera. But I got to get the funds, and I think I've mentioned this before, but tax time is here, and my wife and I owe quite a bit, so we're gonna have to live with our belts tight for a little bit, which is no fun. But at the same time, that's kind of the price of freelance. Like we also freelance on top of me being a full-time art director. So while my position as an art director gets taxes taken out of it, and so at the end of the year we'd probably get like a slight return or something like that. When you freelance on top of that, it kind of exacerbates what your income is. It exaggerates. I think exacerbate might be the wrong word. But it exaggerates your income a little bit, and aside from that, no taxes are pulled out of your freelance until tax time, unless you're paying quarterly estimates. And in order to pay estimates, you have to be assuming you're going to make what you made last year. And I think now that we don't freelance as often, like I'm not relying on freelance illustration for a living like I did for about 15 years. Instead, I'm just doing it kind of on the side for extra cash or for extra money or for extra income or just for fun. Because of that, like around tax season, we always get hit pretty hard. But I've gotten into that a little more heftily too in a previous vlog about taxes, which you can see at the Quarterly Stories channel. So anyhow, point being, we're gonna have to kind of live a little tighter for like about a month. My other point was I'm actually feeling really positive today about going forward, about getting stuff done, because at the end of the day, this graphic novel is not going to write itself. So any progress that I make carving away at finishing it is progress forward, and I want to be always moving forward. I need to keep that momentum going. If there's one thing I've learned in my day job as an art director, it's that forward momentum is huge, and you need to kind of ride momentum. And what I mean by momentum, well, I think you guys can figure it out, but it's kind of like if you get a ball rolling and it finally, you have to push it a few times, but it finally starts gaining momentum and moving forward quicker. And the point being, like, you always want forward momentum. You don't want to be stalling or moving backwards, always forwards. And to me, like, that's a huge thing. And last night was like the ball had been put on pause, and now it's actually moving again. And so I'm pretty excited about that, because that means that I can hopefully maintain that momentum and keep up this habit. So today I'm heading to work. This is kind of a long one. I don't think I'm going to show much art today, because what I have to do today, if I do my job correctly, is work on my layout and get my photo references organized. Like, I've already taken the photo references, but if you guys watch my previous vlogs, you're familiar at this point with what my process is. And so I'm at that kind of stage 2 part where I need to do my rough layout and photo layout for my next page. And so today, I don't really think it'll be all that helpful to kind of film it, because you guys have seen it. So I'm just going to kind of mention that, and then I'll touch base to let you guys know if I got home, still had the energy, and still got it done. This is the hard part. It's the first thing in the morning right now for me. I just woke up, and there are often times where I feel like really gung-ho about a project before heading to work, but once I get off work, I'm exhausted. And particularly after a day where I was very productive, because there's that voice that's like, well, you were very productive the other day, go ahead and give it a pass. But anyhow, so that's what I'm hoping to do today, is I need to get my layout done and my photos placed so that I am ready to go to lettering and ruling out borders tomorrow. So that's my goal for the day. It's not much. I finished my paintings, so I'm not really planning on doing another painting. And I do have revisions for a client, for a freelance client, that I need to work on, and I keep stalling on, and frankly, I need to get to that, but probably not today. I'll probably wait till the weekend to get to those. But anyhow, so for those of you watching or on the vlog, I'm kind of curious, what are your strategies to keep momentum going? Do you kind of believe in momentum? Do you believe in the idea of forward progress kind of being a good sign or indicator of a job being well done, or eventually getting accomplished? I'm kind of curious what you guys think. I tend to be kind of more on, definitely on the side of forward is always better. But, I'm also kind of politically, I'm a progressive, so maybe I'm just crazy, and maybe it's actually sometimes backwards is better. And I could kind of see that argument too. Let's say you were heading in the wrong direction, then forwards may not be better. Forwards might be actually a really wrong idea. But for me, I just I feel really good about getting a little bit more carved away on my projects, and I hope you guys are overcoming doubt and kind of moving forward on your projects as well. Because I know most of the people subscribed to this are artists, and even if you're not an artist, on your own personal projects, whatever it is, I hope you guys are having victories over, frankly, to get a little more into it before I go, I should go quickly, soon, because this vlog is kind of teetering on long, but I do want to kind of get to this point, which is that when I miss a day on a project, there's also a slight voice, and I think it's maybe the fact that I'm prone to depression, or that I am an artist, and artists tend to be filled with mild self-doubt, but I tend to if I miss a day, I'll kind of beat myself up a little bit, mentally, and the main way that the negative side of myself will kind of try to convince me to kind of just give up the project altogether is to kind of get into this little cycle of going, well, you missed a day, there you go, tomorrow you're going to miss a day. Why do you even have days of accomplishing stuff when you're going to just miss them? And it will almost convince me to give up, or to give up for that day. It'll be well, you can negotiate one more day. And like I said, and I've said before on previous vlogs, it is really helpful when I have self-doubt or negative thoughts about my own progress as an artist, to really question one really important question, which is, if I carry on with this line of thought, will it get me closer to my goal, or will it get me further away? And a lot of the time, negative thinking that is unhealthy, positive negative thinking, I know that sounds weird, positive negative thinking, would be hey, that arm looks a little weird. And then you really consider it, and you look at your image, and you're like, oh, okay, I got to correct the anatomy on that arm because it's just not working. Because none of us are perfect, so a lot of the time you're going to do drawings that need correction, maybe write parts of your script that need a little bit of correction. So that's positive negative thinking, meaning it's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's not oh, I'm the greatest. It's not that kind of thinking. It's more well, that sucked kind of thinking. but it's got a solution attached that gets you closer to your goal. So that's why I'm saying it's like positive, even though it's not a positive thing that you're thinking about yourself. It's positive towards getting you towards your goal. Negative thinking would be more akin to like something like, well, I drew that arm off, so that's it. I can't draw. Like that kind of thing, that can be, crippling. It can stifle you in your creativity. So that's what I mean by like, you want to be able to recognize which negative thinking is not helpful. And if it's not helpful to get you towards your goal, you really shouldn't engage in it. And that's helped me out. That helped me out yesterday to get me to sit at the art table. When I got off work, I was like, you know what, screw it. I am going to hit this hard. I'm going to work. I'm going to get my project a little bit further towards the end. And I'm going to finish my Haunted Mansion paintings. And I did. So, anyhow, I hope that you guys are having an equally good time. And now I'm going to wrap it up. So I will check in with you guys at the end of the day. Hopefully after I've accomplished that task of like, getting my layout and stuff started. So I will see you guys when I'm off work, and then we're gonna work on some comics. Okay, so it is after work. It is now 1 a.m. but the cool thing is I actually had a late day at work. I was doubting that I'd be able to work on my comic, and basically had missed a day, actually 2 days. So that means that I needed to take my photo reference, lay out my photo reference, and then ink my panel borders and hand letter page 49 so that I would be ready to go to pencils, and I'd be back on schedule to where I would have been had I not missed those days. And it's been just a long, exhausting day, so I was just like, I don't think I'm gonna have the juice to do my comic. Well, what's cool is I got the ruled panel borders and the layout, the rough layout, as well as the hand lettering all accomplished today for page 49. And so tomorrow I can get right back on the horse and get back on track with the daily comic work, which I'm pretty stoked about. So successful night. I'm gonna go to sleep, but first I'll show you the panel the page so far. So here it is. Here's all of the hand lettering that I got finished today, and the cool thing is, like, there's a lot more text on this page, but I tried to kind of lay it out where it would almost step ladder up, so that it kind of creates a visual arc. It kind of leads like that. See what I'm saying? Anyhow, so panel finished, or not panel, page finished, lettering. So now I will try to pencil this tomorrow, maybe get this up today. So after what's been a roughly pretty tough week getting stuff done, I'm going to turn in for the night. But thanks to those of you who have subscribed, commented, liked, and shared my YouTube videos. It really means a lot, and we broke 200 subscribers, which I can't believe. So you guys are amazing. I will talk to you next week.